Support WrestleTalk!
Thank you for your support on Patreon, Arnie K. The K stands for the coolest dude ever. We've got new SmackDown Tag Team Champions. The wild card rule continues, and it's official. Shane McMahon sucks.
Hey, I don't remember saying that.
And what's the real reason behind the brand split coming to an end? Click the timestamps down below if you want to jump to any of those stories. I am Luke Owen. Give us a subscribe, press the thumbs up button, and leave a comment down below to answer our question of the day. Who would you like to see jump to Raw or SmackDown next week in the wild card rule? And make sure you voted in the poll above my head to let me know what you thought of the show, where you can choose from SmackDown, Smacktastic, Smack Bang in the middle, Smackdowner, and a smack in the face. This is the 7th of May 2019 edition of SmackDown Live. Raw wrestler AJ Styles opened the show this week to say he's missed being on SmackDown Live. Mate, you've only been gone 3 weeks. And he was interrupted by fellow Raw wrestler Sami Zayn returning from the planet Junkion to chance of have a shower. Actual SmackDown wrestler Kofi Kingston was out next, and after a bit of chit-chat, made a triple threat for the WWE Championship for later on in the evening. So how will that work if one of the Raw guys wins? Do they then become a SmackDown guy? Or do they stay a Raw guy who could just jump over to SmackDown in the wild card? Or will they be like the Iconics and be across both brands? I mean, I don't want to sound like Piggy from Lord of the Flies, but we've got to have rules, Ralph.
Has the whole world gone crazy? Am I the only one around here who gives a shit about the rules?
Shout out to this guy with the support WrestleTalk sign. Not all heroes wear capes. Kevin Owens cut a cell phone promo saying he wouldn't be on the show tonight, essentially guaranteeing that he'll be on the show tonight. And we were then set up for an absolute treat as Andrade took on Ali. Sadly, the match all took place during the commercial break, and Randy Orton ran in to cause a DQ finish, giving both men RKOs to stand tall. But the character work of Ali staring at Randy Orton and saying, "I'm not afraid of you," was excellent, and it writes a nice story going into Money in the Bank that can continue into future pay-per-views, something Raw totally failed to do when 3 of the 4 Money in the Bank men had matches and storylines that had bugger all to do with the pay-per-view. Finn Balor also cut a cell phone promo saying he was home in Ireland but liked the sound of being Finn 2 belts when he wins Money in the Bank. I'll be honest, I forgot he was the Intercontinental Champion. You know, even when WWE is at its creative worst, and this period is a pretty low ebb, though it's far from the worst it's ever been, you can always rely on their excellent video packages. And that was certainly true of SmackDown's hype package for the times and careers of one Roman Reigns. Starting from his time in FCW to NXT, to winning the WWE Championship at WrestleMania and the Universal Championship at SummerSlam, with some nice crowd sweetening to make it sound like those were things fans actually wanted to happen. Before transitioning into his leukemia announcement and remission return. It's fair to say that Roman is a polarizing figure in WWE, but this video package made him feel like an absolute star and a big deal, something the company should be doing with a lot more of their talent. With the Hardy Boys vacating the tag titles last week, the best in the world, Shane McMahon, came out to announce who will have the belts next. With such a stacked roster of tag teams like the B-Team, Heavy Machinery, and the Singh Brothers, Shane McMahon announced that Daniel Bryan and Rowan would be the new SmackDown Tag Team Champs. This is a really great use of Bryan now he's out of the WWE Championship picture, adding much needed star power to a division that totally lacks it currently. However, before Shane could make it official, the Usos were the 3rd and 4th wildcard pick rules for this week. Or do they count as one pick? I honestly don't know what the rules are. The Usos then challenged Bryan and Rowan to a match to determine the new champs, which Shane McMahon made for reasons. Not that I'm complaining, of course, because this was a really good match, with the Usos making an excellent comeback leading to great near falls. Rowan kicked out of an Uso splash to a huge reaction from the crowd, who totally bought it as the finish, and they put Big Red over strong by giving him the win with the Iron Claw. That was a lot of fun, and a feud between the Planeteers against Heavy Machinery could be highly entertaining, because Daniel Bryan, he's a hero, gonna take pollution down to 0. Shane McMahon was out for another announcement, but he didn't get to make it because The Miz hopped the barricade to attack him. So is he the 4th or 5th wildcard pick? I honestly don't know what the rules are. Miz was then attacked by his former Miz-Taraj buddies, the B-Team, and Shane left him laying with a chair shot. This was more effective storyline telling for their cage match at Money in the Bank, as Shane won't be able to run from Miz inside the cage, nor will he have the B-Team to back him up. Over the weekend, WWE's Twitter account advertised a 6-woman tag with Bayley and Charlotte Flair, but cards subject to change. Instead, Ember Moon and Carmella took on Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville in a disappointingly short match that meant absolutely nothing. Sonya sacrificed herself for Mandy, who hit a V-trigger and implant buster on Ember Moon for the win. And despite Mandy being in Money in the Bank, and Asuka and Kairi Sane feuding with the Iconics over the women's tag titles, Paige came out to make a match between her Pirates of Tomorrow against Absolution next week. Both Matt Hardy and R-Truth cut promos backstage about the freak Lars Sullivan, who were then attacked by Lurkin Lars, who put Truth through a table. Again, ready to see Lars do something else now. Speaking of wanting to see something new, and Aleister Black cut his 3rd spooky promo backstage in 3 weeks. I'm worryingly getting Bray Wyatt vibes from Black at the moment, and not in a cool, new Firefly Funhouse Bray Wyatt kind of way that we have at the moment, but the bland, rambling Bray Wyatt who cuts spooky promos week after week about absolutely nothing, that meant nothing, and led to nothing. With no reason to do so, I am actually putting faith in WWE that they have something planned for Aleister Black. Clearly, I'm an idiot. And in the main event, Kofi Kingston defended his WWE Championship for the 2nd night in a row, this time against Raw's AJ Styles and Sami Zayn. This was standard 3-way stuff, though the spot with the moonsault DDT and SOS was inspired, but it really picked up in its closing moments. Kevin Owens ran down to attack Xavier Woods, which allowed Sami Zayn to get a near fall off a Blue Thunder bomb. Sami then picked up Kofi again and hit a 2nd Blue Thunder bomb for an even better near fall. Then he hit a 3rd Blue Thunder power bomb for an incredible near fall. Each kickout just amped the crowd up more and more, leading to a great finish where Kofi hit the Trouble in Paradise from out of nowhere for the win. So if you were worried that WWE were becoming WCW, don't worry. They haven't started to hotshot the WWE Championship to try and bump a rating. But let's not put it past them just yet. I am not into this wildcard rule at all, and it does make WWE feel a little bit messy, like they have a total lack of direction. But with that said, this was a very enjoyable episode of SmackDown Live with 2 really good matches, some really good promos, and a support WrestleTalk sign which brightened up my morning. A major step up from Raw and last week's show. This week's SmackDown Live is smacktastic. And now over to Ollie Davis with the news about why the brand split is coming to an end, LOL.
Great review, Luke. It seems like WWE's new wildcard rule is already massively paying off, because the viewership figures for Monday's episode of SmackDown, I mean Raw, are in. With the show increasing a huge 90,000 people from last week's historic low, making it only the 2nd least watched non-holiday episode ever. You gotta take these wins where you can. The small increase is likely because WWE went brand split LOL and had top SmackDown stars Roman Reigns, Kofi Kingston, and Daniel Bryan all appear on Raw, along with Shane McMahon, Lars Sullivan, and Elias, and WWE's standard "oh my god, the ratings are so low" panic appearance of Vince McMahon. It's all part of the WWE chairman's genius new plan. He's such a genius. The wildcard rule, which no one is still 100% clear on how it actually works, but at least WWE.com have tried to explain it. The article notes that this is the latest wrinkle in the ongoing superstar shakeup. You know, the annual draft that was meant to be finished 3 weeks ago, and that it means a limited number of superstars from Raw or SmackDown would be invited to cross brand lines for one-night-only appearances. The article points out the limited number was initially capped at 3, but Lars Sullivan persuaded the chairman to expand the limit to 4, which still doesn't explain the 6 SmackDown stars on Raw. Genius! Genius! For those superstars who aren't invited, the article doesn't explain who's inviting them, by the way, they'll be penalised by fines or even potential firing. Just keep showing up on SmackDown Revival, it's your only hope! Fascinatingly, however, introducing the wildcard rule wasn't just another last-minute idea enforced by Vince. It actually came from the very top of the food chain. Speaking on Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer has revealed the wildcard rule was instilled by WWE because of pressure from both NBC Universal, which owns the USA Network that currently broadcasts Raw and SmackDown, and also Fox, which will start airing SmackDown from October as part of a $1 billion 5-year deal. Because of WWE's record low ratings since WrestleMania 35, both networks reportedly wanted the brand split to end, so both Raw and SmackDown could share the star power. Vince didn't want to give up the idea of brands. The pressure was definitely there from both sides, both NBC Universal and Fox. They both will not be happy with bad ratings because of how much money they're spending, and they want star power. NBC Universal was real upset about the ratings, especially in the third hour, and was asking questions about, our ratings are this, and this, why do we give away Roman Reigns? So the pressure's on that the top stars work both shows. What the networks likely don't realise, though, is that WWE doesn't necessarily lack stars, they lack the ability to present stars. WWE don't want to end the brand split, though, so the wild card idea of having 3 or 4 or whatever number of wrestlers show up on the opposite brand was a compromise with the networks. Additionally, in contrast to initially wanting a very definitive brand split so they weren't promoting stars that appear on a rival network, apparently Fox wanted more storylines that are going to be on both Raw and SmackDown. A consequence of the wildcard rule, where top stars are plucked from the opposite brand at short notice, is how it'll negatively affect the company's house shows, the live events that aren't televised. WWE's live event business is also significantly down at the moment, and if top stars from SmackDown are going to be a part of Raw, for instance, that'll harm the SmackDown live event the same night as TV without their main draws. There's been some huge details leaked about Grand Theft Auto 6. Click the video on the right now to find out what to expect from the game, and check out the latest episode of WrestleSketch showing how Kurt Angle's retirement match was booked by clicking the video below that. I've been Ollie Davis, and that was wrestling.